Hello everyone. Thanks for joining today's webinar. This is Ashok. I have total 10 years of experience in IT and from last 5 years working on UiPath process automation and test automation. Right now working as UiPath Test Suite lead in UiPath company. Yeah, that's all about me. Coming to today's discussion, let me share my screen. Yeah, today we are going to discuss about cross-browser testing with UiPath Test Suite. And this is our agenda. So we are going to take UiPath test automation project from UiPath Studio and we'll implement bot on single browser and we'll use Excel as input like data-driven testing with multiple set of variations data. And we'll work on object repository, which is available on modern design experience. And we'll make a dynamic window selector for supporting all the browsers. And we'll execute bot on multiple browsers like IE, Chrome, Edge, Firefox. Yeah. So before going to technical discussion, let me give high level of cross-browser testing, like what is cross-browser testing and what is the use of it. Okay. So cross-browser testing is a type of non-functional testing that lets you check whether your website works as intended when accessed through different browser combinations like Chrome, Firefox, IE, Edge, Safari, etc. And if you are accessing through different operating systems as well. Okay. So, the main advantage of cross-browser testing is like it helps ensure that your website delivers an optimal user experience. And cross-browser testing will ensure better accessibility and readability to your users. So, end of the day, user experience is very important. Like according to a report by Gendesk, 50% of the customers will switch to a new product if they come across a bad product experience. It means that without rigorous testing, you potentially lost customers as well as their respective conversions. Okay. So now we'll see how we can achieve cross-browser testing with UiPath. So let me take Chrome browser for development. So we'll develop Chrome, our bot on Chrome browser. And for demo purpose, I'm using a UiBank application. So taking one test case, which is like apply for a loan. So this is the loan application form. So user should enter a few details for applying loan. So like enter email address, loan amount requested, select loan term from the drop-down list, current yearly income, and enter age. Then click on submit loan application. So this is my manual flow. Okay. So we are going to automate this flow with UiPath Studio. So yeah, this is UiPath Studio. Once UiPath Studio is open, you can see this window. So as I said, I'm going with the test automation project. So you just click on test automation project, then you will get this new blank test project pop up. So you can provide your project name here. And you can select your location and you can provide your description as well. And you can select compatibility and the language also VB script or VB.NET or C#. Okay, then click on create. So once you create project, so it will open a project panel with all the features. While UiPath Studio is opening, let me show you what data I'm going to use as data-driven testing. So you can see here config Excel. So I have all the data variations in Excel sheet. Yeah, I have 4 rows of data variations are available in this Excel sheet. So with 4 different browser types. So you can see Chrome, Explorer, MSH, Firefox. And this is the data I'm going to use for functionality flow, like user should enter mail address, loan amount, loan term, income, age. Okay. So let me copy this entire Excel file into my project folder. So once UiPath Studio is open, right, you can see here project folder icon. So you can click on project icon and then you can see here file explorer icon. So just click on this file explorer. It will automatically redirect to your project folder. So you can copy an Excel file into this. Okay, so now data input data is ready. So we can start creating test case. Under design tab, you can see new button here. So just click on new button. Then you can see these all, options here. So you can go with the test case here. So once you click on test case, we can get this pop-up that is a new test case. So we have two different tabs here. One is new test case and one more is test data. So let me create a test case. So you can provide your test case name, cross-browser testing. Okay, and you can select our location, and based on means this is we have two different test cases templates. Okay, default. So one is BD test case and one more is empty test case. So BDD test case means it is like behavior driven development. It's like Agile process or a test case. So this is divided into three different parts. I will explain once it is created. And one more option is empty test case. So empty test case means it will give text straightforward test case empty sequence. Okay. So I'm selecting BDD test case here. Then click on next button. So it will go to test data tab. So here if you see, we can configure a data source that can be imported through arguments and used when running the test cases. So you can import your data from the external source and you can pass data as a arguments between the job mails or between the between the activities. Okay. So you can see we have option source. So you can click on this drop down. We have three different options here. One is existing data and file, then data service. So existing data means data that has already been stored in your project. Means if you have already imported data from external source into some other test case, you can just reuse that data into new test case. Okay. And second option is file. File means if you want to use Excel and CSV as input source, you can go with file and you can import those Excel or CSV into your UiPath Studio project and you can pass data as arguments. Okay. And last one is data service. So data service is available on Automation Cloud. So this is a cloud data service. So you can maintain your test data, transaction data in the data services, and you can import data to managed entities. You can see here one option is called manage entities next to manage packages. Okay, you can go with manage entities and you can find all the data services which is configured to this particular account in the Automation Cloud. So you can see all the data source names, data services names, and you can select it and you can import the data and you can pass as arguments. Okay. So now I'm going with the file because my data is available in Excel sheet. So once you select file, test data field is available. So from the test data field, you can, you can add the Excel sheet. So you can see here, Excel path is imported and you can see what sheets are available in Excel sheet. So we have only one sheet called the sheet one. So that's why it is showing only one. So if you have multiple sheets, you can select from the drop down. Okay, and you can see here all the data is whatever data is available in the Excel sheet is displayed in the test data pop-up. So you can see here browser type, mail, loan amount, loan term, income, age. If you don't want particular columns data, you can just uncheck those data. Okay, if you don't want rows of data also, you can just uncheck the data. Okay, and just click on create button. So it is creating test case now with the BDD template format. Okay, now here you can see data successfully imported from config. This is Excel name and this is the sheet name and .json. So the entire data is converted into JSON format. So you can now access the data in your test case via argument. So this is the test case I have created and you can go to argument panel here. You can see all the data is available. Okay, so these are the column headers in Excel sheet. Those data is converted as arguments in test case. You can see direction, you can see argument type based on your input values. Okay, so now your data is ready. So basically data driven testing allows you to test your RPA workflows and applications to make sure that the automation can handle multiple scenarios. So multiple data variations. Okay. Let me refresh this. You can see here. So config underscore sheet one. So data is imported as test data. Okay. So coming to test case. Yeah, this is the BD template format. So once you select BD template, it will give three different parts. One is given, when, and one more is then part. Okay, so given is nothing but to initialize your test data. So whatever the data you are reading from other external file like Excel or JSON file or YAML, or XML, whatever it is, you have to take all the data into given sequence. Okay, to make sure, to understand more, we are dividing into three different parts. So data part in the given part, and one more is when. When is nothing but placeholder for invoke. So you can write your code here, you can invoke all the activities into when part, or even you can invoke all the YAMLs into when part. So each test case will be divided into multiple business components, right? So those all business components you can invoke directly into when part, and you can pass input data at test case level from the given to when through arguments. Okay. And one more is then part. So here actually you can, you can add all the validation points like verify expression activities, verify expression attributes based on the requirement. So you can add all the validation point here. So this is nothing but reporting into test manager and orchestrator. You can add those all validation points in even YAML level. Okay. So basically, build template is divided to three parts. One is given, when, then. So this is data repository, this is code repository, and this is the reporting. So it is very understandable and structured. Okay. Yeah, as I said, I'm going to use object repository. So we will start working on object repository. So under object repository, we have two tabs. One is descriptors, one more is UI activities. So once I complete coding, I will explain UI activities. So let me go with the descriptors first. So here we can add all the objects. So you can see here capture elements. So just click on capture elements here. So before this clicking on capture elements, right? So this object repository is available on modern design experience. If you are not able to find this object repository on your studio, you just go to project, click on project settings, under general tab, you can see here modern design experience. This always should be yes. Then only you can see object repository. Okay. Yeah. Let's start capture elements. So just click on capture elements under object repository and descriptors tab. Open your application in the background. Yeah, so once you click on capture elements, it will pop up this capture elements pop up. So we can quickly capture elements you need in your automation with the capture elements wizard. Okay, so you can go with the capture all elements and start recording. So capture all elements means I'm just giving one try. You can understand the difference. So it is trying to capture entire window. Okay, fields. Okay, so I don't want all the elements from the screen. I wanted only few objects from the screen. So that's why I'm going with start recording. So you just give one click on the application. So you can see here started adding all the, a screen name, application name. So this is the application name here. You can see, and based on your application version, you can provide application version. Just I'm just taking as 5.0, and this is actually your sequence. Sorry, your screen name. Okay. So here you can see, on the screen level, you can find Windows selectors. Okay, you have Explorer also to change your selector properties. Okay, so to make sure your screen is supporting for all the browsers, you have to modify this app property to dynamic variable or argument. Okay, so let's select chrome.exe text and right click on the selected text, click on use variable. So I'm giving argument which is imported from the Excel sheet, and remove this default value, then click on confirm. Okay, so you can see here, screen level, this is the screen name web bank. On screen level, I have changed Windows selector from chrome.exe to browser type argument. Okay, this is the one change is enough for supporting all the browsers. Okay, let me add all the fields which are required for this functionality flow. So just go to that field, just give one click, it will automatically start collecting all the information. Okay, and you can see what all the information is available. So this green color is nothing but actual target field where you are going to enter the data, and this blue color means anchor base. So based on the anchor name, it will enter. I mean, to make more stable objects, stable selector. Okay. This will increase selector readability with the help of the capture elements recorder that capture elements together with their anchors. Okay. So with the help of anchors, objects keep their reliability in case the application received a slightly new UI. So tomorrow, if application was is changed to new UI, just imagine this field position changed. Okay, then your automation will fail. But in with the UiPath, if position changed also, it won't fail because it will work based on the anchor base as well. And if you observe here, we have two different types of selectors. One is target and one is anchor. Inside target, we have strict selector, fuzzy selector, image. You can go with the inner text as well. Okay, text is. So this, I mean, it will work based on the one by one like selector, then fuzzy selector, then image. So first it will check either selector is working properly or not. If the selector is identifying properly or not. If selector is not identifying properly, then automatically it will fall back to fuzzy selector. So this fuzzy selector is basically I mean, it is like artificial intelligence engine mode. Okay. If this fuzzy selector also not working based on the selector changed, then it will go with image, then it will go with inner text. If still it is not working, then it will go with anchor base. You can see anchor. In anchor also we have a strict selector, fuzzy selector. You can see here ANM, email address of requester. This is the anchor base, right? So that is the anchor name. It will go with image. You can provide inner text is like you can see email address of requester. Okay. So you can add like this. And if you see object name is taking automatically field name, you don't need to provide any name. And here you can see T icon, right? This is nothing but type into. So based on the field, it is taking automatically that kind of input. So while seeing this field, right? I mean, while seeing this object, right, we can understand that it is a field or button or drop down. Okay. And just imagine tomorrow your anchor based name also changed. You don't need to modify anything in the code level. You just modify this object repository. You just open this object, just change the text. Just imagine today is email address of requester. Tomorrow it is like email. So you can just remove this or you can make it dynamic with star. Okay, that all options are available. Okay, so let me add one by one. So again, I'm adding loan amount requested this field. So just give one click on the field. It will take automatically all the info and give one click. I mean, give just one enter button. Okay. So you can see this loan term is a drop down. Let's see what type of icon will come in the object repository. Yeah, you can see here. So first two are fields. This is drop down. So that's why icon is different. So based on the object, you can understand what type of field it is. Okay. And we have one more option. See, for example, if it is if you're not interested on these kind of properties, if you want change the properties, you can go with UiPath Explorer, UI Explorer, and you can select whatever the available properties, and you can uncheck these all properties if you're not interested to continue with these properties. If application keep on changing ID, tags, something. Okay. Yeah. So I have added all the objects from the application side. Okay. And here you can see this is the submit loan application. This is the button. So that's why icon is different. So button field drop down. Okay. For example, once you complete, capturing all elements, if you want to highlight particular field, so you can just click on this highlight element. Okay. See, it is highlighting. Okay. If you want to highlight all the fields which are captured in this particular screen, you just click on highlight element. See, all the fields are highlighting which are under this particular screen. Okay, so we can just close this. Now we can click on save button. So save objects to library. So all the objects will be saved into object repository. So let me close the application. Okay, now we can see the version I have changed from 1.0.0 to 5.0. So this is the UI Bank application, and this is the screen, and these are the fields. I mean, these are the objects in this particular screen. So let me show you one thing here, edit descriptor. Yeah, you can see here window selector have changed selector from chrome.exe to browser type. Still you have option to open in Explorer and modify anything whatever you wanted. Okay, to see that you just select that field object, then right click on that. You can go with edit descriptor, edit screen to re-indicate again. Okay, create element. If any new elements added in that particular application, the new version, you can directly add from the create element. Capture elements, if you have multiple things, you can go with the capture elements. Okay, these all are available here. Okay, so now your data is imported into project funnel panel, and we have created BD template test case here, and we have imported object repository. So now we can start implementing consolidated code to work for multiple multiple browsers. Okay, so it is very easy to create your automation code from the object repository. So just drag and drop all the objects one by one, which is required as per the functionality flow. So I'm just dragging UI bank, that is opening browser. Okay, so here we have a lot of options. You can see close, input mode, open, resize window. Okay, so if you want to go with the simulate type, Chromium API, window message, background, hardware events, you can select from the drop down. You don't need to add separate activities for this, and you have option close. So earlier we were using like close all application once execution complete, like kill browser, close tab, right? So now it is not required. You can just select from the drop down. Okay, and resize window, so you can select maximize, restore to design time size, and minimize. So those all options are available. You don't need to use maximize window activity at all. Okay, I'm just selecting maximize and open. So if not open, if application is already opened, you don't need to open application again. So you can go with, oh, if not, never, and always open. If application is already open, also you can go with always open. Okay, these are all options available. Okay, this is open browser. So now here you can see one more option called this object repository icon. Here it will show you what exactly this object. So this is the screen name under application UiBank 5.0. This is the screen object repository. Just give one click on this. It will go automatically object repository. Okay. Let me do one more field. So I'm taking email address. So it will give all the options available for this particular type, particular field. So I'm taking type into because user should enter mail address in application. So you can see here type into email address. So annotation is coming default. So you don't need to provide separate annotation here. Okay. And you can see the screenshot here, and you can see object repository icon. Just imagine, just 1 second. So see here, this is the email address. If you want to see what is this object exactly, so just go to this icon on tooltip. You can see element name is email address, that is the object, and the parent screen is UiBank, and application is UiBank app 5.4.0. So you can find this into object repository. You don't want to go on my object repository manual and check where it is. Then you just click on this icon. It will go automatically to that particular field, object in the object repository. Okay. And here you can see we have a lot of options: standard, secure. If it is password, you can go with the secure. Okay, and you can give hotkeys here from the drop down. And if the data is multiple line, you can select a multi-line, single line options. Click before typing. Sometimes you have to click single click, double click. Okay, you can select. If you don't want click, you can go with the none options. Okay, and even we can add auto verification. So because, for example, if you want to check either this email address entered in the application or not, you can go with add auto verification. Okay, just click on auto add verification. So verify that the text is empty. So we can provide here. So I'm just giving mail, which is imported from the argument, Excel sheet. So this mail is nothing but argument type. Okay. So you can see verify that mail is typed. If you want indicate in any app, you can indicate remove verification, indicate in the current app. Okay, so this will give you either this mail address is entered in the application or not. That kind of verification details it will provide you. Okay, you can see it is in orchestrator level and test manager level. So you don't need to add verify expression activity that is entered or not. Okay, so it is very easy to add verification activities for reporting purpose as well. Okay, let me add one by one. So email address, then loan amount requested. This is also type into, this is the field. So based on the icons, you can understand. So loan amount argument. Okay. And the next loan term. This is the drop down. So we can go with the select item. Now object repository is closed, so you can just click on this, it will open automatically. Okay, next is current yearly income. So we can pass documents. Next, enter age. Then click on submit loan application. So this is button, so I'm selecting click button, click activity. Okay. Yeah, all the activities added. So now your code repository is ready. Okay, so basically completed importing data driven and created test case BD template and imported object repository, and we have completed code. So it is like end-to-end test automation. Okay, and it is very easy, you can understand. So now let me go to object repository again. Here you can see UI activities. So here you can understand what type of activities you used. So see, this is the cross-border testing. This is my test case, and you can see here all the activities which are used, and each activities, I mean, which object is added. Also, you can understand. So this is the first one is UI Bank I added. So this is the UI Bank object repository I added. So we can go to next one is email address. Type into activity I used, and the email address is the object I used. If you want to see this object properties, you just right click on this, go to descriptor. You can see it came to descriptors, it came to the email address. Okay. Again, you can go to UI activities. Just you can select type into, right click on this, go to descriptors. You can see it is going directly to age. So from here you can open, I mean, you can directly, you can indicate to the application, you can modify a descriptor. Okay. That is one advantage. One more thing, just imagine these are the object repository you have. In this test case, if you want to understand this type into activity, where exactly used in the code repository. So right click on this type into, right click on that and click on, I mean, go to activity. You can see here, it is highlighting type into current yearly. So automatically it will take you to that particular activity. That is the main advantage of your activity. So playing with UiPath Studio project is very easy at test case level and activity level and descriptor level. Okay. So now our code is ready. So our data imported successfully through arguments, and object repository captured all the elements, and we have completed automation design, and we made Windows selector as dynamic for browser type for all the browsers. Okay, so now we can start triggering execution. So we have three different options on the debug file. So run file with the data variations, and debug file with the data variations. So I'm just going with the run file with the data variations. So you can see what type of data we are going to select and execute. So I'm selecting all the data. So you can select whichever the data you wanted to run for this execution. So here I'm selecting all the data. You can see Chrome, Firefox, Explorer, message. So it will execute one by one. So it will start execution in Chrome, then it will open Firefox, then Explorer, then message. Okay. So total 4 rows selected. So once I click on run button, it will start automatically execution sequence mode one by one. So I don't need to trigger again and again. So one click on run button is enough for 4 executions. Okay, let me click on run. Yeah, you can see explore. I mean, bot execution icon on the taskbar. So Chrome browser launched and the web bank application opened, and it is entering all the details for loan application. So this data is coming from data driven, so which is imported from Excel sheet. So you can see execution icon disappeared, and now again appeared with the Firefox browser type. You can see I didn't added any timeouts or delays. So UiPath is waiting until that application is launched properly. So that auto mechanism is available in UiPath. So it will wait up to some time, like 30 seconds. So execution completed on Firefox as well. Now execution icon again appeared for iExplorer. So make sure all the UiPath extension type, extensions are enabled for all the browsers. For IE it is not required anyways. So now it is launched message. So it is entering all the details which is imported as argument from Excel sheet. So you can see message@gmail.com. Yeah. So execution is completed. Can go with output panel. So here you can see audit logs. We can add validation points so we can see all the report as well. Okay. So if you see here, we have one more tab called Test Explorer. Okay, so under Test Explorer, it will display all the test case names here. So you can see this is having green colors. That means this is executed, and this test case is not executed. So you can see these two test case in the project panel. See cross-browser testing, one is the test case. Okay, so that's why two is showing in the Test Explorer. So you can click on this cross-browser testing. So total 4 executions are done. This is summary report, and 4 passed, and you can see total execution time here. Okay, and you can see descriptor coverage. So 100% of the descriptor references used in your test case have been executed. That means we have used 7 objects. One like UI bank, launching application, enter email address, age, loan term, income, and loan amount requested. Then click on submit button. So total 7 descriptors we use. So 7 descriptor execution completed properly. Okay, and here you can see cross-browser testing inside bracket is 4. So 4 data driven variations are executed. So you can just click on this icon. So you can see here. So 4 different icons. So one is browser type is chrome.exe. Okay, and here you can see what data we used. Okay, so you can see all 4 different types, and here you can see each execution how much time it is taken for execution. So 26 seconds, 17 seconds, 20 seconds, 33 seconds. Total execution time is 1 minute 36 seconds. Okay, yeah, this is our cross-browser testing demo. And here you can see the summary. So we have used BDDT template framework. This is behavior driven template, and we have used data driven testing. So we imported Excel data and we passed arguments into each and every activity, and we have captured elements from the object repository. Okay, and for screen level, we have changed Windows selector as dynamic for supporting all browsers, and we have implemented bot on Chrome browser, and we have executed bot on multiple browsers like IE, Chrome, Edge, Firefox, and we have shown report in the test explorer like summary and detailed report of every execution, overall execution. Yeah, these are our upcoming events. We love to see you guys on these upcoming events as well. Okay. Yeah, any questions on the current cross-browser testing demo?